TV channel and bring you the newspaper review segment of the show. And I'm privileged and excited to have Alhaji A.B. Hussaini, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Sagnarigu constituency. Alhaji, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, bless. And good morning to my brother AC. He looks more of a Dagomba man than myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that we'll add him a Dagomba wife, but I don't know how to go with.
You don't know how long to go with Madam AC.
The man cannot accept it yet.
Good morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Inna. Is it not Inna?
The man is lobbying for 18. You are a powerful man from the moon, so I have to, once you put the proposal down, I have to acquire to it.
That's all. That's all.
Solve my matters at home. I hope you know the
That's all. That's all.
Good morning. Bless.
Right. So we've tabled some topics for conversation this morning.
I hope the turning is correct, because I hear if you don't turn it well,
I mean, they have their own meanings.
Bring it forward, you'll be in trouble. When you get to stand straight.
It means you're a powerful man. And people would want to test you.
Or you bring it forward. You don't see where mine is.
Nobody will test you. Right. We are still talking about Senegal. So Senegal's president-elect Faye vows to govern with humility. Supreme Court throws out injunction against approval of ministers, and then Akufo-Addo fires GRA boss, dissolves board. Akufo-Addo fires GRA boss, dissolves board. If there is enough time, if we are able to exhaust these topics and then we still have time, we'll talk about the intermittent power outages that have bedeviled the country in recent times. I think 2 days ago, sadly, a baby passed at the Tema General Hospital, and we understand it was as a result of Dumso that unfortunate incident happened. But we'll start our conversation as usual with African Story, as we always do here, and I'll implore you to be a part of the conversation. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know lots of you, scores of you are watching from home because today is a holiday, so leave us your text messages. I'll read them as the show progresses. Also on Facebook and YouTube, we are streaming live. Let me know what your thoughts are on the topics that we've tabled for this morning's discussion. So our first story, we go to Senegal, who have conducted elections amidst a lot of issues, despite the fact that the outgoing president, Macky Sall, he didn't want to see elections happen in February, and so he postponed it to December. The court overruled that decision and said it was illegal, and so asked him to ensure that elections are conducted as soon as possible. So it was last Sunday that the Senegalese people went to the polls, and the opposition, Faye, who had ridden on the back of the popularity of Ousmane Sonko, who himself was imprisoned, he emerged victorious with over 54% of the total valid votes cast, and he's been congratulated by almost every participant of the election, including the ruling administration. Ba has also called to, congratulate Faye for his victory. So we are getting into that conversation. My guest here, over the past few weeks, in the run-up to the election, we've been talking about this issue, and finally, the elections have happened, and the winner. It's rather unfortunate that we do not have Comrade Bernard Mona here with us, because he had a huge interest in this election. The very fact that he was lending his support to Ousmane Sonko and Faye. So I'm going to start with Alhaji A.B. Hussaini on this very topic. Alhaji.
Yeah, let me say good morning again to you too. My brother, you see, to the Pan-African viewers out there, your technical people, and the Burkina people of the Sanaru constituency. Yes, Senegal has made the news, and deservingly for that. It is a product, borrowing a leaf from my speaker, the Right Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagui. He says, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. I don't know whether I should say it again. Yeah. Yes. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. Maybe if I may qualify, the power of the people is greater than the power of the people in power. That is the eloquent story of the Senegalese issue you have brought to the fore here. And I want to salute the Senegalese people for standing up for true democracy in their country. It takes a people. It takes a people to stand up and fight for the democratic process to endure in their country. Any people who are docile and they are not willing to stand up for injustices that are perpetrated to skew the democratic process and obscure the valid verdict of the people will not deserve democracy. It has to be fought for resolutely. If you have to be on the streets, I'm sure you are aware. Look at how the Senegalese people went onto the streets when the Macky Sall government was trying to perpetrate this, is to steal the verdict of the people. Even here, there were rumors that he was attempting to even go for another term. But the resolute determination of the Senegalese people to hit the streets in their tens of thousands. And so when you see the pictures on social media, you will see endless chain of people out on the streets there to show their revulsion of the attempt of the Macky Sall government to circumvent their democratic process, to steal the verdict of the people and use other slothful means to remain in power. So for me, the first and foremost congratulations goes to the Senegalese people. And they are an example to the rest of us in Africa to stand up. When you see certain things that are done that are not in the interest of the democratic process, you just don't express your opposition and sit at home. Show your revulsion. Participate actively in opposing the thing so that our democratic process will endure. So I want to say that as a preliminary comment. And then to send a clear message of congratulations to the president-elect, Diomaye Faye. Yeah. It's a young man of 44 years. Yeah. I think this is the youngest candidate, at the time he stood as a candidate for election, and the youngest elected president to lead a country. I don't know whether currently in Africa, if we are talking of elections, I'm sure he will stand out as perhaps the youngest on the continent. And that is a very loud message that is coming onto the continent. Of course, I must hasten to add that it has its advantages and disadvantages. There are those who may say that at that age, maturity in handling matters may be a problem because he's not old. He has not been in the political trenches for all this while. I think it is just within the last. They had barely 2 weeks to campaign, and I'm sure. But for the fact that he's a protege of Sonko, yeah, who to all intents and purposes the Senegalese people wanted, but who the Macky Sall regime did everything to prevent from standing, brought this about. So I think that there are people who raise issues about the youth and his ability to handle a very complex African nation such as Senegal. It will test his mettle to the core to see how he has the endurance, the patience, the maturity to be able to take up the complex issues of especially the economy, challenges of the economy, job opportunities for the youth. I think it's one of the top ranking issues that will come up. And that was the subject matter of the campaign. So all these are going to how he handles international diplomacy, how he is able to handle the complex religious and chieftaincy matters in Senegal. I think he's going to test his mettle. So I would suggest that if he clearly has a deficit in some of these experiential matters that should help him to govern the country effectively, he must rely on the solid advice of tested and proven politicians. I want to believe that, no doubt, Sonko, who has been in the trenches for all this time, will be instrumental in this government. I also believe that there are some people, even in Macky Sall's government, who haven't handled affairs for the last more than how many years, 12 years or so, would have some knowledge of critical issues in the country, and the depth of experience can enable them to bring certain things that can contribute. So I think that even in consulting, he should not limit it to only members of his government or his party. I think that he should endeavor to drink from the deep fountain of wisdom of people even in government who they were opposed to and who they managed to defeat in these elections. They will still have something to offer the country, and then to give him the benefit of the experience in government so that he can avoid pitfalls where they tripped and fell. The wisdom is in the saying that you don't, when you trip and fall, you don't look at where you are falling, you look at where you tripped. And so you'll be able to draw useful lessons and move forward. So I would think that he would draw from a wide variety of the political spectrum to tap into the experiences and wisdom of the various groups so that he can govern. I don't think this is even taken for granted. The expectations are very high. No doubt about that. Many Senegalese had complained about the increasing cost of living in Senegal. They have complained about the joblessness, especially for many of the youth. The number of youth who are in the ranks of the unemployed is increasing. And so people would expect within a certain reasonable time, some may even say even in the short term, that as soon as he comes to power, then he must immediately take steps to ensure that the situation of jobs improve for a large number of the youth. So how he is able to do this, like I say, it's a Herculean task. And I believe that he has a bounden duty to work to justify the confidence the people repose in him, to beat a standing government candidate by almost 58% of the vote. 57 point something is overwhelming in the first round. So I think that it is important that he hits the ground running. And to hit the ground running, the caliber of people you appoint to assist him administer the affairs of the state will be very critical. And so I would wish him the best of luck, but also with the mindset of not trying to run on an exclusive base. He must endeavor to open the doors of consultation wider, the doors of imbibing and drawing from useful lessons across the political divide, to embrace as many of Senegalese people as possible, so that he has a stock of knowledge and wisdom before him to guide him in policy making, so that he can succeed. I want to pray that he succeeds, so that democracy can endure in Senegal, and not only that, be an example to the rest of us in Africa. I also want to take the opportunity to salute the Senegalese judiciary. Look, the Senegalese judiciary have left a remarkable imprint in the sands of history in their country, and in that one, as an achievement worthy of emulation by other African countries, by the judiciaries of other African countries. Because look, to be able to stand and look at a regime in the face and rule against a regime is what many judicial districts in Africa cannot do. Many of them don't have the guts and the balls to look at the government in power and rule mostly against them. in critical matters, such as it happened, if you look at the issue of how they even managed to get these elections to come on, to even overrule Macky Sall, who is the president of the republic, to overrule him. Bless, how many governments, how many of these judicial bodies on the continent can do that to a president? Okay, but they brought Macky Sall down and asked him to face the true rigors of the law. Highly commendable. And I'm sure that today, if we have democracy enduring in Senegal, we must give great credit to the judiciary as a bulwark that stood up in the defense of the rights and freedoms of the Senegalese people. But for them, I can tell you that the verdict of the Senegalese people would have been stolen. Would have gone in ways that is not representative of the true will of the people. But by their acts, they have ensured that the true will of the Senegalese people will emerge. And so they deserve the tons of respect from all of us. And for all of us in Africa, we must work to ensure that such laudable standpoints are imbibed on the continent so that democracy can endure, and progress will be made. So I wish him well. I wish him the best of luck, success, and may he also not forget where he's coming from. All too soon, bless, sometimes people on ascending to power forget that they rode on the backs of the people, the long-suffering masses of the people, some of who stake their lives. And look, in the course of this thing, some have lost their lives.
Yeah.
Many have lost their lives. They've sacrificed they've made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives to ensure that he should not forget these monumental sacrifices and work for the benefit of the people who put him there. Because sometimes governments, as soon as they get in and they start getting comfortable, they are showered with these comforts and others. He begins to be cocooned, insulated from the true realities of the people on the ground. And so he is bathed in comfort and forgets where he's coming from. I want to remind him that you should always look back and see where he's coming from, and listen to the cries and pleas of his people as the fundamental reason why he was made president in these circumstances. If he forgets the people, I pray that he doesn't. He will end up like Macky Sall has ended. And so I think that it is important that he makes the break so that people can begin to justify the confidence that change is the way forward. That when a regime has failed you woefully, you dump them and bring fresh people to take over and ensure that this thing happens. So I wish him well, and I think that democracy is the winner in Senegal. And
right.
All of us should be proud that Senegal has pointed the way forward. This is more relevant now, especially in the absence of coups. I'm sure you are aware that one of the things that sent ECOWAS panicking, and all of us, is the absence of coups again, the acceptability of changing governments through the barrel of the gun once again on the West African continent, about 4 or 5 within a very relatively short period of time. Right. So I'm sure that this one should help us with a success story of a democratic experiment so that democracy can continue to endure on our continent.
All right, thank you very much, Alhaji Bey, for saying it. Mr. Isi.
God bless.
Yep.
Yeah, the Senegal politics, I don't know whether I've greeted the people already, yes. Except the Burkina people. Let me reiterate that one. That's bad.
Atumabeula. Apabeula. You just said nah.
Yeah, so it's interesting, the politics of West Africa and Africa. And so when you begin to get results like this, I must admit that when my lecturer in international politics via the graphic speaks. You know, and he's ABA Fuseni. So he's clothed with the understandings and the nuances of international politics, and so he's hit it right. But as you said, if Bernard Mona were here, last I met him, and he was excited about the outcome of the Senegalese elections. But suffice it to say, this is the first time a young person in his 40s is ascended the highest office. Obama did so in his 40s. Tony Blair did so in his 40s. David Cameron did so in his 40s. In the Western world, it's easy and normal for them to. But in Africa, especially in Senegal, where the history is that a lot of people above 60s are the people who have ascended their throne and reigned. Abdoulaye Wade, and there was another one, oh, that old man, Abubakar, yes, with the head, some head. Oh, Sakura. No.
What?
I think Abdoulaye Wade, yes.
Wade.
Yeah, there was Abdou Diouf, the
Yes,
tall one.
yes, that's the first one before
yes,
Wade.
yeah, Abdoulaye Wade. Yeah. And yes,
Old men.
old. And even the Macky Sall himself. So, fortunately, there's a young man in the arena, Diomani Faye. I understand his father is an astute politician and he's been in the political arena, and so definitely there's going to be somebody, a pillar behind him to counsel him and to advise him on what to do and what not to do. And then, as ABA said, he should seek good counsel from people that have been in the arena, in the terrain for some time, especially with the mounting expectations that he's confronted with, so that he'll be able to deliver to meet the expectations of the people. He cannot meet it 100%, but if he's able to make inroads deep, that will be appreciated by the people of Senegal, especially the young people who reposed their trust in him and were on the street, and some had to lose their lives for the sake of that. Now, I look at this and I say, okay, in spite of all the shortcomings in our constitution, the Ghana's constitution, I think it's not bad, because in our constitution, we stated the definite term for any president and a definite time for elections, right? That's one of the good things. Otherwise, if we had just left it, it would be open to people like Macky Sall to be wanting to manipulate it. Instead of elections happening in February, they prefer in December. You get it. So at their whims, they are going to be pushing it and go. But Ghana, you cannot do that. It says 7th December. And that is what it is. And unless something happens, you get it. That is an entrenched clause. And so it is something that we should appreciate our forebears for fashioning these and capturing these in our constitution. I understand Diomani Faye is got 2 wives and has 2 bank accounts and has 2 houses.
He declared his assets.
Yes. So
including his wives.
2 wives, yes. 1 Christian, 1 Muslim. That's good. Maybe
At least to promote
there should be
Yes.
there should be a traditional
That was with the third one. And there's opportunity for the 4th.
Yeah, that's the 2 wives,
Muslim.
and then yes. So that's it. 2 houses, modest. Young man at 44 is a good achievement, and 2 bank accounts. But I don't know whether he disclosed how much is in it. The dollars in it. So we go. But what's important is that the people of Senegal have spoken, and they've emphatically chosen him. 57% is an emphatic victory, and I think and I believe that Macky Sall and his team will accept and then congratulate him. In Ghana, a certain political party and its leader up to today hasn't accepted and congratulated the sitting president on his victory.
The same thing. In 2012, President Mama was not congratulated.
No, after the court, the president congratulated
He never congratulated him.
No,
he didn't.
It was a press conference.
He said that he disagreed with the verdict. But
yes, but he congratulated him. Play it.
No.
Just play it. It was press conference.
Can we get it?
Yes. Let them play it. When Nanado's press conference, congratulated him. So he said he had called him at the press conference. I just put a call through the Mama. He did. He said it at the press this day to congratulate him. Okay, but he disagreed with it. But thereafter, you went to court without anything. And you still lost, and you are saying unanimous, whatever. When your chairman says, Chachu even advised you at home that what you are bringing,
I normally don't like to interject you, but
let's finish with the Senegal. No, we are making comparative analysis, right, so that we can build on to it. So the Senegal young man, I wish him well. He should take time and put a solid team together so they can deliver on their manifesto promises, if there was any, or whatever their national development plan on agenda is. And as Honorable A.B. Husseini said, one of the key and prime expectations of the youth is job, employment opportunities and job creations, entrepreneurship and co. If you can create that opportunity for them, they will really appreciate it, and they will really rally behind his government, right? And he's definitely going to get the 2 terms that maybe his works will determine whether he will deserve it or not. But job opportunities for the youth is one key thing. Harmony in the sub-region, his international relations with other presidents in the sub-region, and he should also look at his relationship with France, especially on the heels of these Burkina Faso, Mali, and which is the third one? Niger,
you know, and reviewing their understanding agreements with them as far as their minerals and their resources are concerned. I think he should look at that, because that could be one thing that if he loses sight of, can cause trouble for him, especially with what is happening in these other countries. And people have seen that their mineral resources, revenues that are coming is now leapfrogged, right, compared to when it was under them. So he should look at that and then govern very well for progress to come to Senegal. I wish him well. Congratulations. And I know our brother Bernard Mona is also excited. What has happened to Sonko? I thought he was his running mate. He wasn't, right?
No, Sonko would actually would have been the president now.
Yeah, he just handed him this at the last minute.
Makisa mafiaed him, right? Yes. So definitely he's going to be the shadow vice president or shadow president, whatever.
I've been saying that.
I've been saying that for some time now. Yes, he will be lurking in the shadows to support him. So he has 2 solid people behind him. His father, the Faye Senior, and then Sonko and the other teams. He will succeed. Right. The only prayer is that they don't get these agreements, because Sonko shouldn't try to impose too much. He may be his shadow, but some people want to dictate that what I put you there.
After his first time, you step down for him.
And you wouldn't want to step down.
After this,
I long to see how that unfolds. I mean, just to whatever decision would be taken thereof should be to the benefit of the Senegalese people. Basically, that's that. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. AC. Now, we'll proceed to other topics, but let me remind you once again that this is the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa. Yours sincerely, Kokwa Loma. So, as usual, I'm sitting in for Kwame Osudan. So, good morning to Sedem and Semefa Aloma. So, all of whom are, seated behind their television sets and then watching me this morning. Good morning to the 2 of you. I hope you're fine. I hope you're doing well. My youngins.
Your young brothers. Your children.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
yes. Right. And so we'll proceed to our next topic for conversation. Supreme Court throws out injunction against approval of ministers. Supreme Court throws out injunction against approval of ministers. So, that's going to be our next topic for conversation. Honorable Roxy Nelson Dafiamekpo sought to injunct the process of the approval of President Akufo-Addo's ministerial nominees. Well, according to him, some of the ministers who have been reassigned to other, to other ministries, they should be vetted. But the court has thrown out that application for an interlocutory injunction and has asked Parliament to proceed with the approval of these ministers. I don't know when Parliament is going to reconvene. I'm not sure that even Alhaji Abi Fuseni has any idea about that. Perhaps somewhere April or May, that should be, that should be happening. But in essence, what does this application mean? And some Ghanaians also have taken cognizance of the fact that the court have been quite expeditious, especially in this matter. When Richard Delasky had earlier taken an issue in relation to a bill that has been passed by Parliament and only requires the assent of President Nana Akufo-Addo, he had taken that bill to court. It's not been attended to, but this one that came later, the court has been very quick to, deal with it, and then they are saying that, look, this interlocutory injunction that you are seeking, we cannot grant. I'm going to start with Mr. Isi on this particular matter. I'm sure there's going to be, a back and forth, a rebuttal sort of. So whoever I'm starting with, I think is not really important, but I'm going to go straight to Mr. Isi on this subject matter.
Yes, my good friend, the Honorable Roxy Nelson, the Fiamekpo, FOHA, what he did, he is an astute lawyer of good standing and with respected honor and dignity. Most of us admire him on that. But what he did, I will add, the court should have said, is not only frivolous, but vexatious. Okay? And I pray that the court gave him a hefty fine for what he did. He's a good lawyer who knows the law, and there are case laws, right? And so there's a ruling on this by the Supreme Court, which is common knowledge. J.H. Mensah versus the Attorney General, right? On the issue of people appointed to office and then moved to another portfolio. The Supreme Court had given a standing on that. And then it's twofold. The first one was moving from one regime when Jerry Rawlings won election in '96, okay, and thought the ministers could continue. You get it? Whilst, J.H. Mensah disagreed. And that one, the Supreme Court agreed that it cannot be done. Once the tenure is over, it's over. It's a new administration.
And so the president's tenure of office is 4 years.
Yes.
And not necessarily 8 years. So once he wins a second term,
yes, it's renewed.
Then, right. His mandate and then all these.
It's a new mandate and you must come back to Parliament to seek approval.
Right.
Okay. However, in the course of that term, okay, if you decide to move Minister A to Portfolio B, you get it. The same status. You don't need parliamentary approval again because he has gone through that process already. Okay.
That actually brought me to the question yesterday when I was in conversation with Honorable Inusa Fuseni. And he made me understand that the vetting process is not necessarily geared towards looking at the competence of the nominee to man that ministry.
Yes, that's not it.
Right.
That's the fantastic aspect. You get it. The nomination and co is to see whether you have the competence and capacity and capabilities to, take up that responsibility. Not the technical, because there are technical people who will support you. You are to provide the leadership and the policy decisions. You get it. So once you've been moved from energy to finance, you should be able to function because there are technical people there who will assist you. Right. So that is the reason. And one person was vetted, Madam Haji Abubakar Fati, because she was elevated,
You get it? And then Abena was also vetted because she was also elevated from deputy minister to minister of state. You get it? And then Fatih Abubakar from deputy minister to substantive minister of information. So they must go for the vetting. But if they had been moved, you get it.
Like
that's
how Kujo Nkrumah was moved from communications to works in housing.
So he just went into office and was functioning. Asenso Boache, Henry Quarty, Interior, you get it. Ambrose Derry, Office of the President, they are functioning. Okay, so that is how the Attorney General advised. He wrote to the Speaker of Parliament that, look, what you're doing is inappropriate. Okay, because those who have been vetted, they are not the people in court. The issue in court, they are not those people. So once you've done the vetting, go ahead and approve them and let them go and function or perform their functions. For instance, a typical case is the Minister of Health. You get it? He has been vetted, he has been approved, okay, or is to be brought to the plenary for Parliament to unanimously or otherwise approve them. And then because of this matter, which case interlocutory injunction at the court has nothing to do with him. And yet you say, because there's something, you cannot proceed because you want to even up with the precedent. It's capricious, ludicrous, and unpatriotic. I'm sorry. Because Abambagbe is one person I love and admire so much. But that thing he did, I thought, wait a minute, what is this? You get it? Because, you know, I know your policy on these LGBT things, so I wouldn't delve into it. But the President's Secretary, Executive Secretary wrote to Parliament. I know that I want to glean the reason for that. Is that once Parliament transmits the thing to the Executive, the counting begins.
So he doesn't want to come for it.
You get it. You get it. That's all.
But I also even with that particular bill,
So I say you are close. The information that there's an injunction. The judiciary has informed the executive. It has informed the legislature, and they are lawmakers. So why don't you wait for this the judiciary to finish? Then you can transmit. Then the counting begins. You get it? It was to avoid accounting, to be honest with you. That was my understanding. You get it? So, but once Parliament took it, my good friend Honorable Haruna, you know, he's a lawyer. So he gives all legal, this stampeding the Parliament and all. And I thought, no, that's not it. It's not to dictate to Parliament, no, it's to avoid the counting. That's what I see from that letter. You get it? So that when we finish, then clean slate, you now move it, then we also see, you know, what to do. It's not a matter of buying time at all. And so I thought the Speaker of Parliament, an experienced member of Parliament himself and statesman, you know, shouldn't have been emotional about these things. I thought he was emotional about that thing. So thank God. I think, I pray the Supreme Court gives him this thing to convene Parliament on an emergency basis, maybe even today.
Today.
They
have never been served notice. Almost half of the day is going.
Yes, so today.
They have to serve members of Parliament notice.
Yeah, they can serve you easily. You have a platform and go. So once then they go and approve the people to function. That's the reason the Attorney General, the learned Attorney General, very brilliant Attorney General, I love him to the fault. Huh? Wallahi. Wrote a letter.
You hear the other side of him.
No, nothing. Wrote a letter to the Chief Justice that, look, it's not about trying to, you know, affect the decision you want to make, but you're not expediting the hearing on this. It's going to halt government business. You get it? Ministry of Health will not have a minister. Okay? A very critical ministry like that. There are other ministries that will not have a minister. And functions or works will not proceed as expected, and the Ghanaian people will be the sufferers for that. And so we plead with you to go ahead and then, expedite this hearing so that its effect will not be on the Ghanaian people. Okay? These are the matters that we are talking about. There are some contra drugs. Sometimes you hear that drugs are at the port, nobody is not being cleared, what. Well, there's no minister to approve for them to go and clear it. Nobody can assume a 247 doctor is in court because there are certain things he did as deputy which they think the substantive minister have not instructed. You get it? And some of these...
It has come out. The substantive minister said he instructed him.
Yes.
Is that document to that? Is that document to that? Is that document? You don't say it by your mouth. You don't transmit any document that is
but that I'm aware of.
It's a cover-up.
The court wanted him to establish that. So the man appeared in court and said,
and that's
minister, give me the document. We work by document.
He's not in office. He can't give me the document now. So know that. So he's just the court is to determine whether he's and he expressly said he did. So
there are a lot of things I've done as director of communication. I write them.
So assuming I ask you here, give me the evidence. Can you give me here?
Yes. No.
You have to go back to office, and he's not in office. So you see the argument.
So he had access to the state office and the files to get the document to make his case. That is the issue. You get it. So please, I am happy that the courts have taken this decision for all of us. My brother, learned counsel, the Hermekbo, should eat a humble pie and say he ate. I want a hefty fine put on him so that next time no other person will take such a needless and time wasting.
You think he wasted the court's time?
That's why I want a hefty fine on him. You get it? So that he wouldn't do that, again. Because that led to the speaker taking that decision. You get it? The issue of LGBT, sometimes people even compare it to the e-levy. That the e-levy was there and the president, there was a case and the president signed. They are two different things. They're two different things. And Honorable A.B.A. Fuseni and other people here listening to us know that. Because, look, there's a financial encumbrances on the e-levy, okay? And time is of the essence as far as that law's implementation is concerned, okay? So what it meant is that the president said, I will sign it. Depending on the outcome of the courts, if they lose, they will refund the money to everybody. It is easier than to say, okay, because there's injunction, we are not doing anything. When they finish in August, you cannot have a retrospective effect to come and tax all of us. So it was a time bound, and once you get the courts convinced that when they pass a ruling which is against this thing, you can refund the money because the money is with the state, it can be refunded. And it's not going to be easy to say, I'm going to take for the 5-6 months that you were in court, and impose on the people and take it. That would be difficult. And the court is there to take decisions that will help the cohesion and progress and development of the country. That is their primary function.
How many years has it been since the e-levy? Since the e-levy issue was taken to court? And I'm asking because I'm not sure, and I don't know if you are aware, but there's no ruling on that particular matter. If the court was so much interested,
so you see,
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
You
see, you've even made my case for me.
If the court was interested, if the court had any modicum or scintilla of interest in the e-levy issue, as they have in this ministerial appointments case, they could have been expeditious about it.
The court has interest in every case. Okay.
Do they?
Yes, but it's merit. The Attorney General wrote to them that because of ABC, if you don't expedite action, it will going to bring government business to a halt. And the court saw reason in that. Okay, and served notice to all the parties. I hear people say, my good friend Leonard Sami Jemfi say the letter was reading as party. Yes. It went to the court because they have the interest. But when they accept it and they want to begin trial, they will serve notice to all the parties. You get it? So these are things that I think we shouldn't break our heads over. But I thought Parliament should go back. I pray if the Speaker can convene them one day to come back to Parliament and then approve the members of the president's nominees, and then so they can begin business. Because now, if they go working, they can't take any decision. It will be illegal. Honorable ABA Fuseni will take them on. If Okoboy Honorable walks to the Ministry of Health and start taking decision, and it comes to the notice of Honorable ABA Fuseni, he will be in trouble. You get it? Because he's not a minister. Okay, right. So these are issues that I think the court has done well, expedited action. The other one they are talking about, Amanda Odoe and Delaska, Dr. Amanda Odoe, I know her, she's in UCC, and then Richard Delaska. Fantastic. So, you see, it is a human rights matter. The LGBT, it's a human rights matter. So if the president is saying, take time and let the court rule over said, for instance, Honorable Majority Leader, Fenyo Markin, brought Honorable ABA Fuseni and his colleagues attention to the fact that there are certain things in there which makes it difficult, you know. For instance, here, if we talk about it and we seem to be promoting it, they can take us on. You know that. And you are a landlord. ABA Fuseni is a landlord. And I come to hide a house in his house, and then bless you visit me. He should check and see whether we are, or otherwise he will be acquiescent with those things.
Right.
And that is not fair. You get it? So let them deal with the human rights issue, and then the president will make his decision. 90-something% of Ghanaians are not in support of the gay nonsense. Sorry, I'm one of those people who are not in support of these gay nonsense. You get it? But it doesn't mean, I don't even think it's a human right. Those who think, yes, those who think
they describe it as a human right.
No, I mean the concept. Yes, no, the human right aspect is not for the people practicing. No, I'm talking of me, landlord, and you are in my house. So then you say, I know something about it. Do I go to their rooms every night to inspect what is going on? That is the angle of human rights I'm talking about. Not those practicing. I don't see it as a human right.
Would discuss the issues dispassionately without even trying to tie it to the gay issue. I mean, we are looking at the legal aspects of it and how. I mean, the sort of ramifications that it could pose to us. Before I come to Alhaji ABA Fuseni, let me read this, an excerpt of this ruling. Atuguba.
Let me deal with it.
Oh, you want to deal with it yourself? All right. So I'll proceed to the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Sagnarigo constituency, Alhaji ABA Fuseni, to also share his
first
thoughts
and foremost, just
on this.
The latter part we try to clarify. The European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg has ruled clearly on this matter and says it is not a human right.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
So I'm just making it clear. Those who want to latch on that and say it's a human, it's not a human right.
No, the human right is you and I.
Yeah, it's a sexual preference.
Yes.
So that one cannot be a human right. So nobody to come and impose. And let me say in clear language.
I agree with you.
You see, before I go to the substance of the issue, I disagree with some aspects of the presentation made by my brother AC. Especially when you look at Article 106 of the Constitution. It's clear. Nowhere in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, in the 1992 Constitution, does it give power to the President and the Executive to prohibit, seek to influence, or even obstruct Parliament in the performance of his duty. He doesn't have any right. So the president cannot write. I'm just coming to that. The president cannot write or cause to be written to Parliament that, hey, don't attempt to transmit the bill to the presidency. Where did Nana Bediato get that right? Where? There is absolutely no right anywhere that the executive can write to Parliament and tell Parliament that don't transmit this to us. Where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? No, there's no injunction. I say Article 106, and 106 is explicit.
Yes.
When Parliament transmits the matter to the president has no alternative. He either signs or declines to sign. He has no other alternative. He cannot tell Parliament, don't bring it to me. He doesn't have that right. So the president is acting ultra vires. That is why we are saying that, look, we are going to impeach him. For violating the law, Article 106. I'm just quoting Article 106.
Read it, let me see, and take it.
Take it and see. No, show me where the president has the power to.
I can read it.
No, it's a very long article. So that's what I'm saying. There is no power. Don't waste your time. The president has no authority, no power.
The president has
To obstruct and then to call his secretary to write to Parliament that don't dare bring us that. Well, that's capricious.
No.
It's vexatious. It's
good
ultra
conscience.
vires. He doesn't have that authority. And why is the president doing that? He went and promised Anglican people in the Eastern region when he met them that he's a religious person. That's why he wanted to build cathedral. Now they have brought a law to protect religion. He's running away. He can't sign.
No.
He and the vice president, they are sympathizers of the LGBT cause. Oh. That's why they don't want to sign the thing. It's very clear.
Private members.
It's very clear. So that's why. So Ghanaians should take note.
That.
They are running away from the thing because they don't want to sign.
No.
But let me come to the substance of the issue. You see, you raised a very important matter.
Yeah.
Defy Amepo filed his suit. Honorable Defy Amepo filed his suit almost 2 weeks before Richard Sky. Richard Sky filed his decision almost 2 weeks before Honorable.
I gave reasons
Defy Amepo.
what is done.
So in the normal system, and let us not take that away from the citizens of this republic. People have normal perceptions that, you see, you went to court before me, so they expect you to get justice before me. Is it not reasonable?
It's based on the marriage.
No, I'm just saying that. Is it not reasonable?
It is reasonable.
On the surface of it, it's reasonable.
Yes.
If you went to court before me, it's reasonable that your case should be called for justice to be dispensed before me. So what criteria is used to jump over your case and come to mine, which was filed 2 weeks later?
I gave you the reason.
It's reasonable.
Yes.
It's reasonable. So Ghanaians have a reason to question that. And how the Supreme Court allowed that to happen for them to list this case for hearing, while this other one. And now we are coming to the substantive issue. And you see your Attorney General has seriously misconducted himself.
No.
For which he doesn't even deserve to stay in office 1 hour. Listen, he's a flagrant violator of the laws of this country. I will show you soon. In fact, he is one of the most hopelessly incompetent AGs I have ever seen. Seriously, this AG is behaving like a foot soldier, like a party foot soldier doing party work, rather than Attorney General for the state of Ghana. Seriously, he's worse than a party soldier. I'm a foot soldier. I'm coming. I will show you that instantly, and I'm going to use the judiciary's own ruling to show you how he has flagrantly violated the laws and doesn't deserve to be. You know, the Attorney General is the first officer of the law, and he is ahead breaking the laws of this country. I will show you very shortly. Sure. You see, so my first decision is that the Attorney General came publicly and told us that he wrote a letter to the Chief Justice advocating for abridgment of time. That is to bring the time of this case forward. Okay? Nobody has seen a copy of the letter. As I speak now, I can even say that the Attorney General is lying. He has not written any letter. Well, where's the letter? Who has seen a copy? Maybe you are closer. Maybe you are
been to the registry.
Maybe you are closer.
Registry.
I say they went to the registry. They didn't find it.
Who went there?
The other party, the Fiamako's party.
And yet the Supreme Court acted.
So that is the issue we are raising. Where is the letter? You see, maybe you are closer. Have you seen the letter?
I don't need to see.
Have you seen the letter? Nobody has seen the letter. Okay? Nobody has seen the letter to even ensure that this is what he applied for. And in any case, even ask the lawyer said that letter doesn't constitute like a motion. It's not a motion. It's a letter he has written. So it doesn't have the force of a motion. So what compels him to be heard so expeditiously? That the Supreme Court thought that his letter was so important, they must hear it immediately and act on it immediately. My brother, it raises questions. You see, when you go to a funeral and you leave the funeral grounds and you are weeping outside, people will suspect your motives. So this is the first query that we are asking. Okay. Okay? How important is that letter that it would have instigated the Chief Justice and the judiciary to take up the matter on that emergency basis when other cases were pending? Okay.
No, tell us if you disagree. Just tell us.
I'm not that I disagree. They are questionable.
You are a member of government.
Now,
from the legislature.
If the Attorney General has actually written the letter, who has seen the copy? Like I was asking you. You have not seen it. And if the Attorney General has also written the letter, the issue that we are asking is that how come he failed to notify the other party? And this is where
there's a registry that
no. I'm going to deal with excommunication, ex-party communication. I'm going to read this for you to hear in clear language, and you see that he has basically validated. This is a Supreme Court ruling. Supreme Court ruling, eruditely presented by Justice Nene Amegache in the case of Atugba and Associates versus Scipion Capital UK Limited. This was a ruling delivered on April 3rd, 2019. Okay? Listen with rapt attention. Where somebody had gone to seek ex-party. And this is the erudite judgment of the learned judge, Nene Amegache, on that occasion. There is quote, and I'm quoting him, these are not my words. The instruction from the respondent to the appellant is to request the appellant to engage in an ex-party communication with the judge. We find this request unfortunate, especially coming from a firm of solicitors in the United Kingdom. We condemn the directive in no uncertain terms and reiterate that Ghana is not one of the countries. Listen very carefully. Ghana is not one of the countries where ex-party communication with judges is permitted. Did you hear that?
That's not relevant.
I can read that again.
It's not relevant.
Ghana is not very relevant.
Don't worry.
Ghana is not one of the countries. It's not one of the countries where ex-party communication with judges is permitted.
Yes, I agree.
The rules of judicial conduct in Ghana prohibit judges from engaging in ex-party communication. Do you hear that?
Yes.
Lawyers are also prohibited by the rules of legal ethics from communicating with a judge in the absence of the opposing counsel. Look at all these poignant points. Ex-party communication is an attempt to overreach the opposing party and influence the judge to decide in favor of the party making the contact. Wow.
Irrelevant.
Wow. What a ruling. An ex-party communication undermines the fairness of the judiciary delivery system and ongoing judicial proceeding and creates a dent in public trust in the legal and court system. Charlie, this is far-reaching. Listen, okay? We wish to state that the justice delivery system is the last hope of the citizenry in a democracy. When everything else fails, it's therefore important. When everything else fails them, the justice delivery system should not fail them. It is therefore important that rules put in place for the justice system to thrive and serve the citizenry without fear or favor are carried out and respected by all, Ghanaians and foreigners alike. Unquote. What an erudite judgment. So, by this ruling of the Supreme Court, it says that ex-party communication.
You are misinterpreting it.
Ex-party communication is not allowed. Very, very clear in this one. Anybody who understands, this one is just elementary English. It says that it is not allowed. Here, let me read it again. Just in case.
I'm sleeping when you are reading.
Oh yes, I know that you should sleep. We condemn the directive in no uncertain terms and reiterate that Ghana is not one of the countries where ex-party communication with judges is permitted. Straightforward. Ghana is not a country where ex-party communication with judges is permitted. So you cannot engage in any ex-party communication with a judge. It's not permitted. That is what he did.
No.
That's what he did.
No.
He wrote a letter.
In the absence of...
Thank you. In the absence. And he said that you cannot do this in the absence of the opposing party.
Administratively, you see,
Master, allow me to make my point.
The substance of the matter.
Master,
with
this one, anybody who has listened to this argument will have no qualms about the fact that ex-party communication with the judge. Ex-party communication with the judge is not allowed.
Yes. It's not allowed.
It's not allowed. That's what he did. He wrote a letter. Yes. He said it. That he wrote to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Without the presence of the opposing party. No. He did not serve when he was asked. I listened to his interview. When he was asked that, did he serve the other party? He said he didn't need to serve them. So he has not served them.
He didn't need to.
Here, the Attorney General, who is the first officer of the law, brazenly violating the laws of this country. Brazenly. That's why I said that he's acting worse like a foot soldier. This is not an Attorney General who is fit to be in office. What does he say? So the issues are set out clearly. Number one, Ghana is not a country where ex-party communication with judges is allowed.
You are misunderstanding.
Two, the rules of the judicial system prevent judges themselves from hearing ex-party from parties before it. Lawyers are also prohibited by the rules of legal ethics from communicating with judges in the absence of their other opponents to a case.
That's not what happened.
Ex-party communication is also seen as an overreach. That you are trying to go beyond what the normal is and try to get to influence the judge to deliver judgment in your favor. So it's because of that this learned judge read this on behalf of the Supreme Court. So that what the Attorney General has done is a brazen violation of the law.
No.
He could not have gone ex-party.
No.
To write that letter without recourse to the Fiamoco's council.
Bless, I'm sorry.
He should have served. He should have served. He should have.
No, I want him.
He should have served. He should have served the Fiamoco's council about the letter.
The two of you, don't worry.
About the letter that he wrote. He has brazenly violated, and that's why I'm saying that as the first officer of the law, this man is not fit to stay in office.
Thank you. He's the Attorney General.
He is not fit to stay in office. That's why I'm saying that this is a man who has subjected his partisan interests to that of the state. He doesn't deserve to be in office.
Misinterpretation.
Not only is he incompetent,
wow.
He is selfish and greedy in circumventing the law and allowing this to happen. He should not. So, bless. I think that Ghanaians are listening and they hear this facts very clearly. And especially, I like the judge, this and that. Recourse to the law and to justice in the courts is the last hope of the citizens. If you do things that are not in consonance with the law and in consonance with the fairness of the process, it undermines the trust of the people in the law. So we have been complaining of late that surveys that have been done, trust in the judicial system is low. So when we do things like this, you undermine public confidence in the judicial system, and that is what the learned judge is saying here. That we should not do things like this. Go for ex-party and go and do it secretly, as if it's a secret venture you are having with the judge. Surreptitiously, clandestinely.
Nobody is to do that.
Clandestinely, yes. Without the knowledge of the other person. If you ask, and he knows that the lawyers have what they call surprises. You don't create surprises in the court. I'm not a lawyer. But you don't ambushing or surprises. Yes. Why do you want to go and ambush it? If you did the communication, why, if the Attorney General knew that he had a solid case, you should give them the copy. Let them come and meet him in court. Let them come and meet him in court.
Substantive case.
My brother, you are looking for abridgment of time.
Go into the merits of the case.
It doesn't have to be the merit of the case. It has to be even how the case. How the case is called. Even how the case is called. So beyond that.
Read this ruling.
Beyond that, let me make a point. Bless. One of the important anchors of fair and accurate delivery of justice is that the party to whom you are calling before court must be served, isn't it?
Yes.
And the service must be done in a manner that is beyond doubt.
Yes. Agreed.
there was a bailiff who appeared and was put in the dock, and he swore an oath. In fact, that bailiff, when we finish, he himself must be charged for perjury and jailed.
What did he do?
The bailiff who went to serve the Fiamako council, and in fact, he has put out the CCTV thing, and everybody can see what happened. This man went to the place, asked for the council, and they told me that he was not in. He had traveled. And so the lady said he could give him the number to call. Then the man said, oh, he was from the court to deliver this. And he said, yes. So if you can talk to my boss, and then you can arrange for the decision. This man failed to, as it were, talk to him after that. And Gada took a phone and said that, oh, he was going to call his superiors and then get back to him. So he left the service on the table there, pretended that he was making a call, walked out, and ran away and fled from the premise. And came and narrated a different story before the court. Clearly, if you swear an oath and you come and you lie.
Was that lady an officer of the
lie? No. What he told the court.
A secretary.
I'm making my point. Let me make my point. What he told the court was that the council had refused to accept the service.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He told the court under oath.
Implies he met the man.
Under oath. Yes, that the man had refused to accept the service when the man was not even in the office.
Okay.
Let's exercise a modicum of fairness.
That's a different matter.
Yes, he was not in the office.
But his
You did not speak to him.
And he gave it to him.
Okay, you did not have him there for you to say that he refused to accept the service. And then you enter the box under oath
to make a case against him. That's it.
To indicate that this is what happened. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm asking you, if you procure a verdict under false pretenses, under lies, under fraudulent means, can that judgment not be set aside?
No.
Because you procured it on the basis of a false testimony you gave the court. No. The testimony that bailiff gave was false.
It has nothing to do with the relevance of the matter.
It has. Because, you see, he was trying to justify proof of service. Yes. And in justify proof of he lied.
The lawyer secretary.
He lied.
So you perjured in that.
Perjury.
Bless.
So the man should be arrested. The man should be arrested and charged for perjury and imprisoned for lying.
Right.
Okay. And I'm saying that even the lawyers. I am not a lawyer. Me, I think that if you procure a verdict which is vitiated by fraud and lies, it means that you can revisit the judgment.
Yes, what you are saying is logical reasoning in mathematics, and it's law students do it as well.
So
if the premise is wrong, that's what you are saying.
Exactly. So I am saying that
the other thing is
can be contested. That the bailiff lied before the court, misrepresented the facts, on the basis of which a judgment was given.
No,
because if maybe the facts had been given, and the court was surprised that look, the man had not been served, the court would have said, look, go back and effect service. Maybe without the judgment given at that time. Because I know that the courts are meticulous about making sure that service is done.
Was the lawyer sleeping?
Okay, so you see, there are many issues, and that's why I said that this attorney general is a disaster.
No, you've not made
he doesn't deserve to stay in office one more moment.
I even love him more.
Because he's more of a serial caller or a party foot soldier than doing the work of attorney general, which is for the state. And I'm not the one saying it. Many people have complained about this attorney general. Many people. In this our democracy. So it tells us how low we have sunk to have this man as attorney general. You see how low we have sunk. That even the very basis of the law, as I just said to you.
Knocking you all over court, and you are saying.
You see, the basis. You just heard me read this. That you cannot do ex parte communication with a judge. Who, as the first officer of the law, he know that, or he ought to know that.
He knows.
He doesn't know that. If he knows that and he do that, he's not willfully breaking the law. If he doesn't know, is he not so incompetent that he must not stay 1 day? He must not stay 1 day longer as attorney general. And this is the man acting as attorney general for Ghana.
Right.
God of mercy.
Right.
God save us.
I'm coming. I'll read a few messages from our viewers, and then I'll come to you. I know you have a few rebuttals.
More rebuttals.
Ambassador Sampiale is the president of the NDC Professional Forum. He is a former ambassador to the Republic.
This man doesn't need to stay in office one day long.
Ambassador Sampiale says, Judge AEC, please be advised that in this case, the AG was acting as a lawyer to state and not in his advisory capacity as the Attorney General. No. The law is settled that when a matter concerns the interest of a party in a case, all motions should be motion on notice, except where it has become very difficult to serve the other party, in which case a substituted service will be issued. Good morning, Ambassador Sampiale. We appreciate you, the very fact that you take time to watch us every morning.
I disagree with
right.
my uncle. He has
I'll do some more messages. Good morning, and good morning to all Ghanaians. Please, Parliament must vote on the LGBTQIA plus bill by making parliamentarians who are against and those for stand up for every Ghanaian to see them live on TV. Charles from Japon.
No, but you should take note that this already has been voted. It's unanimous.
It's unanimous.
In fact, we and our colleagues on the other side of the... So that one is not a partisan issue.
No,
right.
You know there's another vote per the law. If the president doesn't sign,
yes, and they need a two-thirds majority.
I can tell you that that one will even get more than 2/3.
No, secret balloting will come.
No, it's not a secret ballot. It's not a secret ballot.
Right. Let's do some more messages.
You will get
bless in this case of the Supreme Court. Kindly, let the viewers also have their chance. Bless in this case of the Supreme Court's decision on the ministerial appointment, we stay far and see that the judiciary has been manipulated by the executive through the Attorney General. From Apia in Half Asene. Okay, thank you, Apia, for your message. Tell Mr. Isi that former President Mahama never congratulated President Nanado. It was rather 2016 that he congratulated him. Nana Kwame. I think he wanted to, say. Mahama did say Nanado didn't congratulate him. Good morning, Bless. I'm Dominic Mahime, watching you live from Bolgatanga, Tongo. Greetings to you and to your noble panelists, especially Honorable ABF Husseini, for his unmeasured performance for the entire North people. In fact, may he live long to see his toothless times. Thank you so much for the message. Bless, please tell AEC to stop shouting on the platform. What is human rights on LGBTQIA, which is preference? The constitution is bigger than the three arms of government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. The constitution comes first before all the three arms. Thank you so much, Stephen. You sent this one from the Dome Kwabenya constituency. This one here is a pretty long one. Alaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, Bless. Truth be told, I'm sad and my heart bleeds for this nation. In my humble opinion, our Supreme Court judges are doing more harm than good to this nation. They always run to defend a political party instead of them to serve the interests of the nation, and it is clear for all to see. You remember the National Security Coordinator has come out to say has come out to issue a statement. Hey, please, some of your messages, please. To issue a statement to this effect by advising our judges to be professional in the discharge of their duties. The will of the people in the country must be respected. President Nanado, who claims to be a human rights lawyer, is a partner to all this injustice going on in this country by parking the Supreme Court in his favor. Thank you very much, Alaji Hamza from Pig Farm.
All this long argument, just go from here. Go and tell your president that, Mr. President, Ghanaians overwhelming more than 99%. They want that to sign the thing and we have our peace.
Right. Let me come back to Mr. Isi. Who would want to say a few things?
I want yes, thank you. I'm happy I heard from my uncle, lawyer, Sampiale, His Excellency, Ambassador. You see, but I humbly disagree with him. The Attorney General is the legal officer of state and the senior legal advisor to the president. Okay? And two, is the Attorney General who decides whether a criminal matter should be continued or discontinued. True or false? You must go there. Okay, they file null prosequi, whatever, because for lack of substance to continue the case. All is in the bosom of the Attorney General. Then a case comes. The Attorney General, as the chief legal advisor to the President and the state on matters of legal, is saying that if you don't expedite action on this matter, the machinery, the state machinery, is going to grind to a halt. Okay, and I cited a case of the Health Service, Ministry of Health. People are complaining that HIV drugs are in at the port and is not being cleared, and all those things. You know the consequential effect on the citizenry. Okay, so these are matters that he says, okay, Chief Justice, this matter is a matter of it needs urgent attention, because the consequential effect can be dire on the citizens of this country. People can even die because of that. And so, please, expedite action. And the letter was administrative letter to the registry, to the Chief Justice. Then they said, listen, the laws, the Supreme Court justices, the bosom, the law lies in their bosom. And you are saying that they didn't know this ruling that you read. They didn't know. And yet went ahead to say that letter, which was in your estimation, ex parte, should be adhered to and implemented, because the argument is that when lawyer what's my Ambassador Sampiali, okay, is representing the family, hypothetically, and then the Attorney General writes that letter. What it means is that when the Supreme Court justices or the Chief Justice accepts that administrative request by the Attorney General, the Chief Legal Advisor of State, the registry, the Chief Justice will instruct the registry to write to both parties that based on ABC, a letter received, we will have the hearing expedited because it's going to affect government business. And I told you, every Supreme Court decision, they look primarily at the interest and cohesion of the nation over and above any other interest. That is what informs their decision. That is the Supreme Court. Ask any lawyer, they will tell you. You get it? And so the interest of state is paramount to the Supreme Court justices. Okay? And so if anything is going to inhibit the smooth running of governance of state, they will not do that. And so that is how come they did that. So the ex parte is not in respect of the substance of the matter. That is what you read. The ruling is about if I come to see you. No, listen. They said see a judge. I'm coming to see you, ex parte, to discuss the matter itself. No, that's not what the Attorney General did.
The ruling.
Oh, please, you come back. Don't worry.
Ex parte communication.
Yes, don't worry.
A letter is a communication.
Yes.
Are you saying the letter is not a communication?
Please.
The court says that ex parte communication.
No.
It didn't say even motion. It says communication.
You say
so if you are engaging in any communication whatsoever, it must not be ex parte.
Go on now. That's
what it says. It's very clear here. So
it's about the substantive matter, right? So there was nothing touched on the substantive matter. I thought he was misinterpreting the ruling that he cited, and he was when he was reading, I was even dozing. You get it? Because it wasn't
relevant. Why you didn't even hear the substance.
It wasn't relevant.
Right. You have not even convinced me.
So the AG's request to move away from this conversation.
The AG's request was right, and the Supreme Court judges
we have other issues to discuss here on the show. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Isi.
And that's last one.
Right. Briefly. Right.
Last one. The guy, the court bailiff, who went to the office, if he were to serve me, okay, and he got to my office and I were not there, my secretaries and other staff are there. If he sees my secretary and he wants to reach me and he's not even getting me, and he leaves the letter with my secretary, it's as good as serving me, because that is my office. Okay? And there's an officer in my office who works with me. You see, okay, so, under my instructions. So if she takes the letter, she will then relay it to me because it's proving something. Maybe I may be dodging, but once my secretary has taken, when I come, it will be given to me.
Right.
Yes. The council. Why did you go to say?
No, that's why I agree with you.
So why did you go to the court?
And nothing to do with the substance of the
because he lied.
Mr. AC.
He lied.
Thank you, Mr. AC.
I'd like
to briefly.
Yes.
So that we can
don't read this. No, because you told me you were asleep. Now that you are awake, I want you to listen. Because you fell asleep, you didn't hear.
Read.
Bless. The Supreme Court is not saying that.
Don't read all. Just take
resolution or you come by motion or it says, and let me read it clearly. We condemn. Let me take maybe in case somebody say I'm not saying. We condemn the directive in no uncertain terms and reiterate that Ghana is not one of the countries where ex-party communication. Listen, it says ex-party communication. So if you write a letter, what is it?
To the registry, to chief
if you write a letter to the registry to the chief justice, what is that?
No, it's not expert.
Is that biology?
The other party will be served.
That one is biology or is zoology?
No, it's not.
It's communication.
That's logical reasoning.
It's communication. So and it says that the law, and then it says they want to reiterate and say it in no uncertain terms that Ghana is not one of the countries where ex-party communication with judges is permitted.
1,000 times. No relevance.
Clearly.
No relevance.
And it goes on to say the rules of judicial conduct in Ghana prohibit judges. Listen, the rules prohibit judges. Listen to this. It prohibits judges from engaging in ex-party communication. So even you as a judge, if somebody comes to you with an ex-party communication, you are not supposed to tolerate the person. You will tell the person that go and bring the other party in my presence so that I can acknowledge that it's not an ex-party communication. And then even goes on to say lawyers by their ethics are not permitted to engage in ex-party communication. So it goes through the entire spectrum.
That's not what happened.
Right.
You see, clearly.
Right.
And this is an attorney general. This is an attorney general who supervises this kind of thing.
Something happens.
This man must be out of office.
No, what he's saying, when there's a trial going on and there seems to be some misunderstanding and the judge will hit the hammer, gavel on this thing and say, approach the two lawyers. You get it? So they approach the bench. It's so that then they will engage in something so that there will be understanding.
You are talking of when proceedings.
Yes,
proceedings.
But
this one, these are rules. These are rules.
Let's move away. What?
There should be no ex-party communication.
Let's move away from this conversation.
It's here.
We are moving away from gentlemen. Thank you very much. Mr. AC. Right. We are moving away from this conversation. We are discussing other matters. Our final topic for today's conversation: Akufo-Addo fires GRA boss, dissolves board. Akufo-Addo fires GRA boss and then dissolves board. I think there's been lots of calls for the GRA boss to be fired over the past few months, with some decisions he's taken as a person and as a leader of that particular institution. Well, he's been fired. He's even gone beyond the number of years that he's supposed to serve. The board has also been dissolved, but some persons believe that it may not exactly, the reasons for his dismissal may not exactly be what we think. They feel that the vice president, who is now leader of the New Patriotic Party and the flag bearer of the party going into the 2024 general elections, he made some comments about the Ghana Revenue Authority and how they, in quotes, these are the words of the vice president, they harass, businessmen and women in the country, and then they set unrealistic targets for themselves. So the GRA staff, they were unhappy with those comments from the vice president, and they issued a press statement condemning outrightly comments of, the vice president. And so some persons believe that may be the underlying, factor or reason for which the president has taken that decision. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not in the position to say. I'm a bit indifferent about this particular, alleged reasons. But I'm starting with Alhaji ABF Hussaini on this topic. I know that the minority in government, and of course, the Honorable Member of Parliament for the North Don constituency, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, he has been on the neck of the GRA, particularly the former GRA boss. Now he's been fired. Now that the man has been fired, you people are saying that he's not being fired because of some of the decisions he took over there, and that it is because the vice president went to say these things. How is that?
You see, the Dagumbes have a saying that if you hear the howling of a hyena in the neighborhood and your goat gets missing, don't ask who caught it again. You know that hyena's insatiable appetite for fresh meat. So if it is in the neighborhood and you hear the noise of the hyena and the goat gets missing, is it clear who caught it? This matter has been followed meticulously for God knows how long. I'm sure you are aware. And even the subject matter of this in Parliament,
Which matter?
where the overage Reverend Amisha Dayan,
Yes.
he was asked.
My good friend.
Okay, he was asked that question.
I like and admire him.
When you turn 60, I'm sure you like all these controversial people, including your controversial Attorney General. So this matter came up, and there was a demand that he had exceeded the age, and this was a promise given by the president himself that this overage phenomenon will be taken care of, so that AEC sitting here can move up and also become chief executive, rather than keeping the gerontocrats in all those positions. Okay? The president said, he will not listen to anybody. You see? And he kept him in office, waiting until this altercation happened, where the vice president, and I'm saying this for the record, if the vice president had any modicum of decency in him left, he should have resigned.
Hey.
I'm telling you, he should have resigned. You see, if institutions under you, no, you see, take this, don't look at it from partisan lenses. If you have institutions under you, publicly, you see, not in the boardrooms or others, publicly, issues statement expressing vote of no confidence in you. What does that mean?
Disagreement or vote of no confidence?
Vote of no confidence. Because that, go back and read those statements. Look, they accuse him of double standards and hypocrisy. Do you know that? And I'm going back to those issues. How are targets set for GRA? Who sets the targets?
It's cabinet.
Yes. The economic management team and government.
Cabinet.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. From the economic management team, then to cabinet, and the cabinet gives approval, and it goes to them. Ally? Who is the chairman of the economic management team?
Do you know?
You should tell me what a wonderful economic management team.
Yeah.
Led by the vice president. Okay? They set the targets. And look, if you just go back to March, God is wonderful. It's exactly a year today. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, vice president and chairman of the economic management team, went and issued a statement to the effect that Ghana was going to move tax to GDP from 13 to 18%.
18, 20.
Yeah, 18 today. I'm very happy that at least you can bear eloquent testimony to what I'm saying. Very good. He said it. From 13 to 18 to 20%. Is that not the target? Who gave the target? You as this, and you go and give the people the target. Then they go to the businessmen and they are collecting the tax. And for opportunistic reasons.
No, I will tell you what
opportunistic reasons, you go and meet the people, because that has come clearly that you have killed many people's businesses with extortionate taxation. Many businesses have collapsed because of the huge burden of tax you have imposed on them. So for opportunistic reason, when your mouth is full of water, can you blow to the candy fire?
No. Yeah, you pour out.
When the fire will go off. This is a vice president who set the target, gave the people the target, asked them to go and collect the tax. They go and they are collecting the tax, and then you go and meet the same business people and tell them that, hey, the people are coming to harass you, they are harassing you. I am against them harassing you. What kind of double standards is this? What double speak? What hypocrisy? That you, the person who gave the targets to enforce, now comes back and says that, why are they enforcing the thing? So we do it. He is the chairman of the economic management team, and it's also in cabinet. Why does he not revoke those taxes? The MPP is in power, and they are making promises. Bless. When we give you the mandate to run the affairs of state, we are not giving you the mandate to make promises. Because you have the power. You act. We in the NDC can make promises because we don't have power. We don't take taxes from Ghanaians. You have the power. You are taking the taxes from the Ghanaians. And then you tell the people that, wait, when I come in 2025, if I come in 2025, I will give you a tax amnesty. It's not like your mama, like you say that when he comes, if he comes in 2025, then you give you tax amnesty. You are holding the power now. Give them the tax amnesty now. What we are telling them is that they should willfully default so that they can have issues for which they will merit tax amnesty. You see how hopelessly incompetent he and the MP people are in administering the affairs of state. So the GRA staff and others issue a statement and said that your statement was unfortunate. That's when they say something is unfortunate, it's a polite way of telling you that they have condemned you in no uncertain terms. Because they said the vice president's statement was unfortunate, and that the targets were given by him for him to turn around and come and now chastise them before businesses. So it means if you go to somebody's business and the person says you are coming to harass, they can even beat you up. A lie. You see, you are setting GRA people against the business people, so that when you come to anybody's business premise, you say, the vice president said you people come to harass us. You are harassing us. We will deal with you. So he's setting up GRA staff to be beaten up when they go to perform their normal duties of collecting tax, which is used to do so many things for you and I. So is this not for opportunistic reasons? That because he wants power, and this is a vice president who is on record, he can say anything and everything for power. Once he wants power, he can tell you that he will transform your 90 today, instantly.
They said they consider it as an attack on the efforts of the hardworking staff.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Not only attack, he's presenting them to be beaten. Because once you say that they are harassing them, if you come to harass me in my company, I should greet you good morning and say and give you flowers. So this is what he's doing to the hardworking people. And in all cases, they have always met their targets within the last few years. The targets they have given them, he says they are unrealistic targets. Who gave the unrealistic target in the first place? But notwithstanding that, they have worked so hard to try and turn the fortunes around and make sure that they meet the targets for you to spend recklessly. The monies, the taxes that they have raised, you go and spend in yafu, and then come around and then you now blame the people who are working so hard to raise those taxes. So for me, it is the public repudiation, which is considered as a humiliation of the vice president, that necessitated the dissolution of the board. Because you are saying that where are you as a board for these people to be issuing this statement against the vice president and you didn't do anything about it? How come you sat down and allowed the workers and others to write this statement and humiliate the vice president in public, so that everybody has now seen him for who he is? not only accomplished in lying, but now even throwing the staff of the Ghana Revenue Authority under the bus.
Right, thank you very much.
For them to be run over and killed in their numbers.
Right.
Have you seen what is happening in this country?
Right.
So this man for power can say anything and do anything. Ghanaians should be aware and throw him away, far away. They shouldn't even listen to what he's trying to say.
Right, Mr. Isi.
If you have ever been bitten by bees, don't let flies bite you again.
Right. Mr. Isi, let's proceed.
I watched yesterday also in the wild. A lion had climbed a tree, was running away. A bull was coming, and the lion was running away from the bull. Surprise, right? But it climbed a tree, and then you know what happened? Where he went to put the neck, there were bees. They started.
There were bees there.
Bees.
So it can't come down and stay up.
No, it was moving from that, then finally it had to come down and then run away. You get it? So when you talked about these, you know, let me greet my uncle, His Excellency Ambassador Sampi Ali. It's good. He injects contributions and it's exciting. Bless the next president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Some people are getting trepidations and sleepless nights when they hear his name. You get it? They know the dynamics. They know the dynamics. The votes in the north and the votes south is going to be serious. So please, some people cannot sleep because of this man. Whatever it is, let's leave it at that. Bless. This issue of harassment is a feedback we got. I have been in meetings where this report has been brought. When GRA, I told you, Amishadai, doctor is one of the people, Allah is a friend, you know, I respect and admire him. There are ways of ensuring that revenue is increased. They decided to do a pilot. One of the pilots is to make people sit at the shops, okay, and track the volume of transactions, okay? So it's going to be maybe for a week or 2 weeks. ABA Fuseni's shop, then they will be there every day, whatever they buy, what goes, invoices and all that, to track the volume of transactions. And that is going to help determine the tax, the real and actual tax to impose on ABA Fuseni. Maybe he was under declaring, okay? Like Kelny GVG was brought to help track revenue transaction by the telcos. You get it? To get the actual revenues. Like SML was brought to track the revenues downstream and upstream. Okay? And then they were being encouraged to have gone into the mining sector to track the revenue for tax purposes. You get it? Unfortunately, there's been improvement on those things. Fortunately. Okay, so it is the same way that GRE, under the able leadership of Reverend Dr. Amishadai, have been doing. But we had complaints from the business people in Abosokai, in Kumasi, in the other places where the pilot project was implemented. And that is that they feel they are being harassed. Okay, so that harassment is not about Vice President choosing his own words, and no, it is a feedback we got from the field, the business people. That program, the way they are doing it, yes, you need to, but they feel they are being harassed, and so they should look at that. What it means is that if you use this one and you think, yes, it's getting you results, but the people are not too comfortable with it, and they feel you are looking too much in there, and two, they feel, what is the guarantee that these are actually revenue people, but they have their ID card and others? But can they collude with people to come and know their volumes and thereby track them to rob them or whatever? So they are not too comfortable with that modus of piloting to determine revenue mobilization and co. Fortunately, under this revenue mobilization has been going up and up and up. True. The issue, that is how come His Excellency, the Vice President, used that word, harassment and co. But I agree with Honorable ABA Fuseni. It is cabinet, it is the government that sets targets.
Okay, there was once upon a time the Minister of Finance had made the case that assemblies set unrealistic targets very low, and then they go beyond it, and then they say we've exceeded our target. By he said that was not the way to go. You get it? And I think the assemblies took that advice, and because he is the finance person, he advised that look, take measures and ensure that the targets you're setting are realistic. Okay, so that's the issue. So the vice president was actually, talking for workers of the revenue, GRA and co. He's not against them. But they issued this thing, and we are in a political time, so, people are honorable ABA.
All of them.
Honorable ABA will rise up. I don't think, am I right, that there's a relationship between the board dissolution and then, these statement issues. No, the statement, the thing is a feedback.
Goat is missing.
No, hyena passed. You want the hyena halt. Kwaku made sure that the hyena had halt. So he went for that goat. And that's the goat.
Goat is missing.
Now let me finish. Now let's come. So that is the reason why, where the vice president made that comment. It's not to embarrass or denigrate anybody or put any worker's life in danger. I disagree with the narration of the minority, a la ABA Fuseni Honorable. So let's come to the issue of overage. The overage thing is a constitutional matter. Okay? The Constitution grants the president the authority. Okay? When I was trying to get the exact article, but I have not got it. I'll get it for you. Now, that's when you work, based on your expertise and whatever, they can give you a 2-year contract, right? And then another 2 years, and then 1 year.
The president said that.
Yeah, no, I agree. But there are exceptional cases. And one exceptional case is this Amishadai man. Go look at the track record, okay? I'm not for those using overage people. No, I don't support that. If you want to be overage and be relevant in the political arena, get into the political field. Fortunately, it allows you can contest the hey, sorry, yeah, understand, today is 29th of March, right? Mm-hmm. The birthday of His Excellency the President. True or false?
Which one?
Today, the president becomes an octogenarian.
Yes. Oh, congratulations. God has blessed him.
A lot.
God has blessed him. Mr. President, we feel you brutal.
He must go and commission the cathedral.
Oh, no, the cathedral will go on. The cathedral will go on.
This one,
private.
The cathedral is dead.
No, it's not
it's
dead.
Dead in water.
You'll be there.
President Mama will use it to build.
He will not get to office.
Housing estates.
He will not be president.
When President Mama comes, we are going to use it to civil servants.
He's not coming.
Without cathedral is dead.
Conclude.
You see, the issue, that's high. But I also felt worried when it came before the Public Accounts Committee. Yeah, that there was not even official communications in the extension and documents were not there. I felt bad.
He was asked questions there.
Yes, I felt bad because I know he's a good man, a very competent man. Okay, as far as revenue tax issues are concerned, but with that inconvenience, this was embarrassing to him. To be honest with you, I felt bad.
So you look at the circumstances under which he has been sacked.
Yes. No. As for he has not been sacked. He has been removed.
Sacked. You are just being diplomatic.
He has been removed. You get it, and the board dissolved. Whatever be the reason, let there be proper realignment. And I understand the person who has been.
They have already made a replacement, Madam LC.
I understand is also my sister.
They say sister one. They say, you see, so you are uprooting cabbage and planting cauliflower. Because they say sister one. Sister one. You
so
see,
the competencies,
which one?
They are there. No
the same. This government, we are ridiculous.
Don't worry. Let's
so,
see.
Are you saying that
mobilization?
You can't find younger people in the system?
Oh, there are a lot of
who are qualified in
digitalized. So digitalized.
And you are bringing sister one years old.
The vice president is Mr. Digitization and astute economist. So we need to go. So the GRA issue. Let's see how is what we want is for the interest of Ghana. And as he said, in this budget, we had projected that we want to raise tax
from 13 to 18 to 20%.
Tax to revenue to GDP from 13. No, current I think it's moved to 14. 14 to between 18 and 20%. Okay, and these
So
are some of the measures
how
that
do they beat it?
will get
You give people targets like this. How do they meet it?
The GRA and Amisadai were moving towards that. They were working.
So
watch the revenue trends.
And so what
if you do.
And now
But what does that be the reason for him to go move on?
Are you firing him because he's incompetent?
Thank you so much, Mr. George AEC of the National Disaster Management Organization. Thank you, Alhaji Ebie Fusseini, Member of Parliament for the Sagnarigo constituency. It's been a pleasure. And to our viewers, we wish you the very best for today. Happy Easter in advance. Do have a pleasant weekend. Bye-bye.